Hello and welcome to another Mental Wealth Moves podcast. I'm your host, Casey Dubravcic. Well, I'm your normal host. Today, Ashley Shafor is interviewing me. Super excited. This was a very fun interview to record, and the tables were turned, and Ashley interviewed me. So tune in. I hope you enjoy, and thanks for being part of us. Awesome. Thanks so much for making this happen, Ashley. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Yeah.
No.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too. No, I've been itching to get in and ask you some questions and just kind of pick your brain a little bit about what you do. I think it's important for our community to understand a little bit deeper about what you have going on with Revitalize and the ROHCT Wellness Center.
Yeah. No, I love what I get to do. So I'm happy to answer. And I know sometimes the way that I explain things, people are like, "What are you saying?"
Right.
And so it'll be nice to have you kind of direct the flow.
Yeah, of course. So, today's episode is personal for me. This is something that I've experienced. I've taken part in your ketamine therapy here, which I'm super grateful for. So my goal today isn't to convince anyone of anything. It's just kind of to create space for understanding and choice, and just have an honest conversation about options out there. So
Beautiful.
Thank you so much for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for being so open and honest. Like, our conversation was so fun that we did, like, it was really deep, and like, just like the amount that you shared was like so profound, and seeing your transformation too, seeing you come into your power and be able to be like advocating for yourself in all the ways and making so many healthy decisions. It's really cool to see.
Thank you.
So,
thank you. Progress, not perfection, right?
That's right. 100%.
All right. So before we kind of talk about your work and what you do here, who was Casey before this path found you?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad you asked that, because like I was a troubled teen, right? Yeah. Like, I grew up homeless multiple times. I lived in like 50 plus houses, like over my childhood. So very nomadic.
Yeah.
And I say it because it's true and it resonated with me. If you're not laughing, you're crying. And I cried a lot when I was a kid. I laughed a lot when I was a kid, and I learned a lot about myself and about what it takes to kind of take care of myself and connect with people and that sort of thing. And my dad was a veteran. He was in Vietnam, did tours of duty, didn't like talking about what he did, and he self-medicated a lot with alcohol. And there's a genetic predisposition to self-medicate with alcohol. And his dad before him and me, like, I drank way too much. Blackout drunk, almost like lost my nursing license or going into that. And so dealt with my own mental health stuff, like struggles with depression and suicidality, and just really felt like kind of stuck in a lot of ways, and then going through the traditional kind of like, hey, like, I want to make things better. And so I got in the healthcare system. I started making better decisions in large part, but still kind of a lot more self-medicating than I was giving myself credit for. Like, I was more stuck than I realized at the time. And just like for myself and just like my clients, I tell people, first time I see them, no regrets, right? Not even one letter. Everything you did got you here, and so good job. And so I see that for myself now. At the time it was hard, and got my associate's degree in nursing at Coconino Community College. I was the class president and delivered a speech, and so I've always been kind of a high performing. Everything from my skateboarding to how I partied, to be honest. And recognize that just like, hey, there's a lot of room for improvement here in how I feel, that hungover feeling, all the things that come up with and it's so normalized in our culture. And so I went through helping a lot of people with my nursing degree and being in ICU, CVICU, pre-op PACU, inpatient, outpatient, behavioral health units. And then despite that, I think I really realized that there, in some ways, I was doing people a disservice, just because we talk about self-medicating with alcohol or marijuana. In a large portion of psychiatry, unfortunately, and this is what we learn in school, is we're medicating for symptoms.
Right.
And depression, anxiety, substance use disorder, even a lot of bipolar disorders, you know, those are symptoms. Like, you need that vehemence, that intensity to survive, to get where you got. And so I think that was kind of soul crushing work, just realizing that day after day. You get into this to help people, and you're like, oh, I'm going to help. And then you're like, oh, I'm not helping as much as I'd like to be.
Right.
And then through meditation, through conscious human connection, through my own ego dissolution work, I really realized how beautiful it can be to get out of your own way.
Right.
And this was like later on in the process. I opened the clinic before ego dissolution work, and I just was able to see kind of those transformations and see how much people were capable of, and how much they were doing. And it was so profound. Like, I just got the chills. So you asked me, like, what was I before? So I was struggling, you know, like a lot of us out there, like, room for improvement, and doing the best I could with what I had. And honestly, I didn't realize how stuck I was. You know, how normalized it in our culture is it that people go out and drink on Saturday and Friday, and they're just like kind of hungover, eating crap food, watching football.
It's a cycle. It's a cycle that just continues, you know, and unfortunately, like you said, it is very normalized within our culture, and people get stuck in that loop, and it makes things spiral, and depression becomes a pretty big issue. I definitely
100%.
think so. It sounds like, you know, that there was, you know, personal experiences that kind of led you to this moment, just, you know, through your own substance abuse and just family history, and it was kind of, you know, a turning point for you maybe to want to break some generational behaviors.
Seeing the work, like, it's been so rewarding. Like, you're, you know, poster child, like, literally and figuratively. Appreciate you. And it's like, you're not an outlier. Like, what I get to do here, I see so many people like literally get better. Like, literally, like, work through their darkest, deepest stuff, and become these empowered individuals that will stand up for themselves, that don't need to self-medicate, you know?
So saying that, you're saying, you know, you're seeing these big difference with people that are coming in here. You've kind of given examples of, you know, what it looks like or feels like for people to be stuck, you know, there's either substance abuse or mental health or just anxiety or these issues. You know, what's one reaction or realization that you've seen people, you know, come to after one session?
Yeah. So, you know, one session can be profound and life-changing, and sometimes people get worse. They really do. Because those coping strategies that we built to protect ourselves, like depression, anxiety, substance use disorder, you know, being a butthead. Right? You know, lots of ways to do it.
You can say asshole. Being an asshole.
Being an asshole. Right? Like, all those things, like, they were designed to protect us at one point. And so letting those walls down brings out a lot of that hurt that people are carrying. And so sometimes we see like this beautiful catharsis, healing, release the very first time. About 10 to 30% of people get a little worse before they get better.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just because they're dealing with like this real heavy stuff that's been there. And it's just kind of uncovered. As my mom just called something. Make sure it's still recording. But yes, it is. Yay. All right. Good. Hi, Mom. I should have answered it. I thought it wasn't recorded. I'll call you back, Mom.
Right. Call you back. So there is potential that, you know, and obviously, you know, you like to do a series of 6 sessions. So it's not like it's one and done and then you're like, oh, why didn't this work? So it is a series of 6 sessions that are completed
100%
when people come in.
Yeah. Okay. Most people, like, and, you know, there's all this kind of news coming out about like ibogaine and ayahuasca and psilocybin and MDMA, and meditation and breath work, and they all work very, very similarly. They're letting the walls down safely, right? And the safety is super important. And they all work. They're all getting you out of your own way. And we all get in our own way.
Totally. Totally.
So that I really just love your question, and I just feel like there's so much more there that I want to express. One of the big things that I think is important about ketamine in
Yeah.
particular,
Yeah.
more so than those other ego dissolution agents, and I'm happy to dive into any of them
Yeah.
if you have questions about them, is the potent anti-inflammatory effects of ketamine. So like a lot of people with autoimmune disorders, a lot of people with
Chronic
inflammatory,
pain.
yeah,
Yeah.
fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue, inflammatory bowel syndrome,
Yeah.
you know, irritable bowel syndrome, um, yeah, like Lyme disease, like
Right.
these
So
things
you're
that you think,
seeing physical improvements, not just
yeah,
emotional or mental.
it's
That's
really
pretty big because I
cool.
think a lot of people, they suffer through things and that's why they're self-medicating or what have you because
Hmm.
they're searching for that relief and they can't find it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I really like that the book, The Body Keeps the
Yep.
Score,
I've
Bessel
read
van der
that. It's
Kolk's.
great.
Yeah, people with trauma, I don't necessarily recommend they read it
Yeah.
because it's so like the delivery is kind of
Yeah.
cold.
I mean, I have some trauma. I did
Yeah,
read it. I had a therapist recommend it and I
yeah,
did read it. And
yeah,
it's a tough read, that.
yeah,
It's very
yeah,
anecdotal and it's
yeah.
more
Yeah, he's kind of
medical.
delivering it as like
Yeah.
a cold cut sandwich, and you're like,
Yeah.
ugh.
It's icky for sure, but it makes sense. It really
Yeah,
does. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, it totally does. And that's the thing is like when we treat that root trauma or help
Hmm.
people treat it,
Yeah.
because I'm not the healer. I'm just turn the key and get out of the way, provide a safe space, setting and
Yep.
sustainability, and that's how your body's holding this trauma
Hmm.
as inflammation,
Right.
and so often that gets better, and then you have a safe space of like, oh, my body doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
and then you can dive into this stuff that like it just needs attention, it needs to be
Right.
seen, it needs to be felt. Where I see people get the most stuck is like when they're like, I want to get rid of my depression, I want to get rid of my
Hmm.
anxiety. It's like, hey, actually at some point in your life having that was so helpful,
Right.
and like you want to tell that part of yourself, hey, thank you,
Yeah.
thanks for letting me get here.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
just don't need you driving my bus,
Yeah.
right? Like you want turns that 3 foot concrete barrier with a razor wire electric fence into that white picket fence.
Yep.
Like you still need that boundary. It's good for you
Right.
to hold that boundary for yourself. It just doesn't need to come with reactivity and
Right. It's just a coping mechanism that we no longer need. Right. Okay.
100%, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or that doesn't need that intensity.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be validated, like that coping strategy, everything from drinking alcohol to like paralyzing anxiety. Like it needs to be like, okay, like I see you, coping
Hmm.
strategy. I see why you developed.
Yeah.
Like that's the name it to tame it, feel it to heal it, and then reframe it to
I
reclaim
love
it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's important. So, what do you feel makes ketamine therapy fundamentally different than like traditional talk therapy or medication alone?
Oh, beautiful question. Yeah. So the big thing with ketamine therapy is you're letting those walls down safely,
Hmm.
right? And so it's not great for business. I tell people no one needs ketamine. No
Yeah,
one needs an ego dissolution
right,
agent. A million other ways to get to a healthier headspace,
right.
and it's a non-specific amplifier of the human experience. And so, unfortunately, the cards are kind of stacked against us out there.
Hmm.
And it's really hard to feel safe to feel safe. It's really hard to feel safe to feel unsafe,
Right,
particularly.
right.
And ketamine helps you get there faster.
Okay.
And when you can feel safe to feel unsafe, then you can do the work.
Yeah.
And that's where the best treatment outcomes come, is when you do the work afterwards, when
Right.
you do the integration.
So it's the integration therapy that really is gonna be
100%, because
key.
you're shaking the snow globe like
Right.
within 2 or 3 minutes of starting a ketamine infusion, we see new dendrites
Yeah.
forming on a functional MRI,
Yep.
which is so cool. Basically, like you get these sled tracks you're going down, and some of depression or anxiety or
Hmm.
being a dick, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as you do that, the ketamine induction series, it's like 5 feet of fresh fallen snow,
Okay.
and so very, very, very much what happens afterwards is so much more important than what happens during.
Yep.
And so that's what we really pride ourselves on here at
Yeah.
Revitalize, is the importance of and the availability of that. Like we have groups at each of our clinic locations
Hmm.
that we provide at no additional cost, that really provide a safe space for people to talk about something that's hard to talk about,
Right.
you know?
Because most people wouldn't understand unless you've
Right.
experienced ketamine therapy. It's really hard to explain to the average Joe or just anybody. I mean, even
Yeah.
family that doesn't understand it, they're like, "What are you
Right.
talking
Yeah.
about?"
And it's got such a bad rap, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's like people think Matthew Perry, or people think
Right.
veterinarian drugs, and it's on the World Health Organization's list of essential medications.
Yep.
You know, it's the best anesthetic in children and large animals still, and we're giving orders of magnitude less dosing here.
Yeah.
And really, what it comes down to, unlike medications, which are treating symptoms, right? Like you think of that mood as depression and anxiety and all those medications that ever prescribed, just less everything.
Yeah, so it's not treating the root cause.
Yeah,
we're just kind of treating the the symptom of it.
Exactly, and in large part, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to people oftentimes when I'm just treating the symptoms, because you're taking the magnifying glass off that there's a problem.
Yep.
Everything from insomnia to substance use, whatever. It's like, hey, like that was a coping strategy.
Yeah.
It may not be super healthy. It's probably more healthy than something else I could have done.
Yeah.
And then ketamine, it helps people treat the root cause that's causing the symptoms. And so everything comes from trauma. Everything is a coping strategy for that trauma.
Right.
And trauma is super subjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I love this. This is so good. So, speaking of trauma, so why can't logic, willpower, or positive thinking override trauma or chronic stress?
Yeah, so willpower and positive thinking, if anything, you're suppressing more.
Okay.
And so the emotion's never bad or good, right? The emotion is always a message from the universe.
Yeah.
Hey, this is awesome, or hey, this sucks,
yeah.
right? It's the reaction to that gets us in trouble.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes what we'll see is that, toxic positivity, right?
Oh yeah,
and so yeah, it's
that's everywhere these days.
Yeah, like I don't like that sticker. I mean, I do like the no bad vibes or whatever,
right?
Or good vibes only.
Yeah,
that one, because I think the bad vibes are good vibes because they're teaching us something.
Totally.
Right. And so like those really heavy feels, like the heartbreak or the just like, oh, like I lost something so important to me. Like that's a beautiful human emotion. That when you give it space, like it can really flourish into some of the best growth that you'll ever have.
I think a lot of us are taught not to feel those feelings, though. We're not, not to move through them or process them. So that's where the self-medication comes in, or the distraction from it. And so people are avoiding shadow work. I've never seen anything like it, and we've been in those alternative communities with, the hippy dippy woo woo stuff where it's like love and light only. And it's like, you can't have light without darkness.
Totally.
And we all have to really dig into that shadow work. And I feel like that's what ketamine helps you do, because when you set your intentions for it, it takes you internally where you need to go and look at these parts that may be scary that usually you won't,
right?
Or you're unable to get the perspective that you need just individually. So when you add in the ketamine, you're able to kind of get a different perspective on those things.
100%. Yeah. Like I think of that Inside Out movie, where the characters take that shortcut through the brain and they turn from their normal selves into those shapes and colors and lights. And that's what we see with trauma, like this gnarly trauma that we're holding on to. Sometimes it's birth trauma, right? Like nuchal cord.
Oh yeah.
Or like, like a in utero trauma from a stressed out mom.
Yeah.
And you just know that you're like always anxious. And you're like, I don't know why I'm always anxious. I'm just always anxious.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to avoid it, and I'm taking these anti-anxiety meds. It's like, you don't have to know where it's coming from, because there's the whole intergenerational trauma now, which is so interesting. And we can positively mutate our DNA positively, right?
It's so wild.
It's super cool.
It is so wild.
And so giving yourself that space and that grace to process through, that's the medicine, like, and that's what ketamine does an amazing job of. And conscious human connection does, and meditation and cold plunge to a lesser extent, right? And so that's what ROHCT is all about. It's like hey, because I don't want people to do ketamine indefinitely. I want them to have a sustainable life where nothing's angelized or demonized. Like we give things power when we do that.
There's not a one size fits all thing, and there's not just a number one solution, like, oh hey, this is gonna fix
people
this.
Want a quick fix,
and that's not how this works.
Well, I mean, unfortunately it does to some extent. That's why there's a lot of ketamine clinics that just give ketamine and they get decent outcomes. Like, it's bonkers. I mean, that's Spravato, that's ketamine, right? So like getting out of your own way to some extent is gonna bring on your innate healing ability. And we know there's no silver bullet, right? It's a million silver BBs. And the more avenues we address a problem from, more likely we are to get capture. And so trying to create that space for people to really have a safe space to do that work is, I love what I get to do. I love it.
So that leads me into, I mean, safety is important, right? So it's really,
so important.
Really great to have a safe environment to be able to process things. You know, and a lot of people fear losing control. And so what would you say to someone who's afraid of what might come up during these sessions?
I mean, it's a legitimate concern, you know, so I just need to validate that first of all. And then that's why we do an induction series, you know, because I had a trauma therapist go through this that was very, very concerned about what was going to potentially come up, and rightfully so, based on everything she had been, you know, exposed to. And then, you know, we're conservative dosing clinic, so we start people at pretty low dosing, which is important for setting that safety, because we don't want to blow the walls off the hinges. Like, those walls were born to protect us. And so we need to stage it. And so with that, you know, we're medically based clinic, you know, we're watching people's vital signs the whole time. You know, we're medically and psychiatrically trained. So, and really important, and this is what you don't get at, you know, ayahuasca retreats or ibogaine, is like, you can pause ketamine. You can pause a ketamine infusion, and that's so important because it keeps people in the driver's seat. Ashley, and people need to be in the driver's seat with their healing. That's what causes empowerment, and that's what helps people get to that place where it's safe to do the work. Because if you come to my clinic and I tell you I'm your healer and I'm going to heal you, and this medicine I'm giving you is going to fix everything, like, run away, please.
That's right. And that's what I think too, is like, I think a lot of people are looking for someone to fix them or give them the answers. And you and I both know that all of those answers are in here. And this gives you the power to understand that. And, you know, I said that it gives you the ability to take your power back and be in the driver's seat. So, okay, that's,
that empowerment is so huge.
So, and that comes in, you know, with environment. Like, do you feel, obviously an environment plays a role in your healing, both here, the environment provided here, but also your environment at home. So people that are, you know, doing these ketamine treatments, if their environment at home isn't great, like, kind of what's your standpoint on that?
That's hard, because it's like, honestly, it can be destabilizing, you know, if you're in an unsafe environment, like, chronically, and there's no way to improve the safety of that environment. Those really intense walls are born on purpose, and I don't want to let those down right now. Like, I always tell people, there's no pill to change the situation, right? And so, that being said, some people's home environments suck, and there's nothing that's going to change that. And so if we can let people know, at least in this environment, that they're safe, then when they go to that environment and they do all the other things, and it's a lot, like, that's like the biggest vision of ROHCT, is having like more of like an inpatient unit, basically, where you can create more safety. And some places are doing this right now, and it's great. Like, more the merrier. Like, you need to establish those foundations of safety, of good nutrition, of feeling like you have a safe place, of, you know, enough sleep.
Like, sleep's important.
Those foundations, like, if you don't take care of those, nothing's gonna land. And so it can be very destabilizing for people to feel safe and then get put back in a very unsafe situation.
So there's other avenues that can be taken, like you were saying, to kind of help people find some safety gradually before going to the ketamine. So you have Revitalize Ketamine Clinic, and you also have ROHCT Wellness Bar. So those are two separate spaces. Why was that separation important for you?
Well, you know, honestly, like, I like having fun. Right? And I think fun is fun, and sometimes, like, tongue-in-cheek fun is fun, and so I can be more playful with ROHCT. And, you know, Revitalize Clinics, and we're trying to change our moniker somewhat from Revitalize Ketamine Clinics to Revitalize Clinics, because we do so much more now than just ketamine. And so, like, I don't care where people go. Like, honestly, like what's good for Ashley is good for the universe. What's good for whoever is listening is good for the universe. And so, Revitalize Clinics, we're the full everything now. So like we'll do psychiatric medication management, like there's space and a place for that, for sure. And we'll do therapy, and we'll do, transcranial magnetic stimulation. So cool, such cool stuff. And then that being said, like ROHCT Wellness Bar is really about a precursor to, continuation of, and it's a safe place for healing and growth. It's designed as like an adult playground where you can go in there and you can do the stretch, you can do workouts, you can do, the 6-person social sauna with halo therapy. It's so cool. Like that salt therapy is such good medicine. The red light therapy, the cold plunge, meditation groups, men's groups, women's group, ecstatic dance. Like we do all those things.
So much. So there's a lot of somatic stuff. Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're good. It's popular.
So there's a lot of somatic stuff going on, that you're able to, work through some of those emotions and stuck.
Yeah, 100%. Like especially the wellness circuit. So this is like a specialized group of instrumentations that are created that you can get through in under an hour, and it really zens you out. It like down regulates your sympathetic nervous system, up regulates your parasympathetic nervous system, and really allows for you to get like a safe space. And it can last for weeks afterwards. So cool. You're doing the vibration plate, then you're doing the full body lymphatic massage with the hug flower, and you do the red light therapy, and then you do the sauna, and then if you're up for it, the cold plunge. And you can do all that in like right around an hour. And it just like, it's like next level for how you feel coming out of there.
Awesome.
Like, I love it.
Awesome. I love that. I know I'm a big red light proponent. I do have my own at home. So I do use it. I mean, sauna is fantastic. I've been looking at those vibration plates. So, I mean, this is an opportunity to go use all of these modalities and not have to purchase your own.
It's cost prohibitive to try to jump on all that. And plus, like, we're also disconnected after COVID, and it's hard to put ourselves back out there. And we want to really create a safe space to do that and facilitate, quality connection. Because unfortunately, most of like social connection revolves around bars with alcohol. And so that's why I named it ROHCT Wellness Bar, because all of our members are rock stars. Everyone's getting rocked in a good way. And then if you haven't tried like some of those adaptogen nootropic drinks, they're amazing. Like all these functional mushroom drinks, and you have a couple of those and you definitely get a pro-social vibe. And you're like, okay, like feel good. And my buddy calls it the reverse hangover. It's pretty legit.
I love that. No, I think we're seeing a new kind of wave of people that are stepping away from the bar scene and stepping away from alcohol. All these studies are being done and they're showing that even that little ounce of wine that they were saying is really good for you is not good for you.
Right. It's literal poison. Like it's literally it's bonkers. Yeah. It's like, like all these, it's like the cigarette companies 30 years ago, they're like, well, it's good for you. Or then that's coming full circle because like pure nicotine isn't that bad. It's all the additives
to it. Totally. And I'm a fan of nicotine.
It's great for like, it's
focus and
Michael Pollan's book. He had the How to Change Your Mind. He also had like one like nicotine is a great drug for like a capitalistic society, basically, because we get more stuff done. We're able to be more focused. Like I'm a fan of it too, and it's actually helpful for a lot of neurocognitive disorders. It's like cleaning out things. Like it's interesting, there's what's called practicing medicine, right? Like it wasn't all the red meat that was causing all of our vascular disorders, all the refined carbohydrates. That's bonkers to me, right? It's all the sugars and food dyes and all these things. Like we're like, wait a minute.
So funny, right? Because I know I shared that thing with you with South Park, where South Park predicted like 11 years ago that they were gonna flip the food pyramid, and now we're seeing this shift. And I've eaten paleo pretty much and kind of adapted that. I mean, 12, 13 years ago I started. So it's, it's super important And that, I think that too, like you guys offer kind of nutritional guidance and
Mm-hmm.
so many things that they're building blocks that people can, put one on top of the other when it comes to their health and wellness and their mental health and physical health.
Totally. And it's like the thing is it doesn't need to be cost prohibitive, right? Like, you have these ketamine infusions, like you get what you pay for, and it's transformational medicine.
Totally.
And there's cheaper ways to do it. Like my book just came out, Psychedelicatry. So you combine psychedelics with psychiatry and the Intrinsic Response Methodology, right? Which the whole premise of is you always be your own best healer. So that empowerment we talked about, like plugging back into that. And then I've got a course too where it's like help people kind of navigate that water, whether that be through breath work or other ego dissolution agents, and just trying to increase access to wellness. And so like the cheapest way to like most of functional medicine is super interesting too, right? It breaks down to like sensitivities, like because some people are going to do great on the paleo diet, and some people they can't handle those proteins, and they're going to do really terribly on it. So elimination diets, really quick and cheap and easy way to find out what your sensitivities are, as long as you reintroduce super slowly. And then toxicities, like we're all holding on to so much toxins. Like everything from microplastics to cell phone radiation.
It's crazy. Mold, I mean, you'd be surprised. It's shocking. Honestly. And parasites.
So, totally.
People always look at me like I'm crazy. They're like, what did you just say? Even my 18-year-old, I was like talking about this parasite cleanse I'm going to do, and he's all, ew, like, what? And I don't know. I'm like, everybody has parasites.
No, it's like we're the hosts for all these things. Your sensitivities, your toxicities. And so like the evidence is in, if you're in sauning at least once a week, like you're really doing yourself a disservice. And then your deficiencies. And so like, we're deficient in certain things, and that's what's interesting about food sensitivities is they shift. It's like our microbiome, when you're in a healthier place, then you're reactive to less things, which is so interesting.
It is very interesting. And it's, and stuff like that. I mean, it shows up symptomatically with rashes or just, acne or just different things. I mean, your body, your skin's your largest organ, and it will definitely start to show up externally too, not just how you're feeling internally. So you offer, do you do labs? Do you offer peptides? Like what else are you offering?
We're doing peptides. We can do exosomes and like other things that will not be named. But so we can go down all those rabbit holes with people. And again, I'm a big less is more kind of approach. And so like right now I'm doing another 100-hour water fast. And so I do those like once a quarter. And about 72 hours, like between the 60 and 100 hours, you get this big washout of stem cells. And so like there's lots of ways to access them. You don't need to go to Mexico and spend 30 grand on a treatment.
I know. I had someone recently reach out to me that said they were going to do stem cell treatments down there because they were talking about Dylan, and they're like, do you think this would help Dylan? And I'm like, no. But, so fasting is huge.
Fasting's huge.
It's amazing what your body does during that time frame, and biblically or just historically, people
I love
have
tying
practiced
religion into it.
fasting.
There's just so much knowledge out there. We're remembering like past technology, ancient technologies right now, and now we're having the science to prove it at a neurotransmitter level, which like gives me the literal chills because we're proving past wisdom with science, and it's so cool.
Well, I think they've fought so hard to kind of get away from that. Let me put my tin hat on. But I think conspiracy wise, they've fought so hard to throw us off.
Well, I mean, like not to jump down that too deep, but if you aren't ill, you aren't consuming, right? So if you're still in this kind of potentiated illness model, which most medical practitioners are trained in exclusively, right? And so you pill for every problem kind of approach. You're attacking the symptom rather than the problem.
The pharmaceutical industry is where all the money is. I mean, you talk to lots of doctors, or you understand that they're training. There is no training on nutrition. They're not giving them the foundational information for people, which is wild. Like we're not taught how to eat healthy and let food be thy medicine.
100%.
That's huge. All of our cells are, whatever you're consuming, your cells are turning into that from whatever your nutrition is, and that's the foundation of it.
And to like totally be devil's advocate on this, just because I like arguing, because arguing's fun. It's like everything in moderation, including moderation,
Right.
right? Like I don't want to have people live that life that's not worth living, right? I don't want you to show up with boiled chicken to your kid's birthday party, right? Like I want you to have like a scoop of ice cream and a slice of cake and like eat it mindfully and enjoy it for what it is, you know. And maybe when you're on scoop 6 or 7, be like, I'm self-medicated here somewhere.
Oh, you mean we can't binge eat ice cream? Darn.
Yeah. Once in a while, do that too.
No, moderation is key. And I think too, like once you start getting away from the processed sugars and you really give your body a new homeostasis, you start craving it less. I mean, you'd rather have honey or maple syrup or just
and it
fruit.
tastes so sweet when you get away from processed sugars and you have them again. You're like, this is dangerous.
Yeah, it is. It's highly addictive.
Yeah, so addictive.
And you get that crash, and you're just like, ooh.
Yeah, no, it's a rough journey.
Good,
for sure.
not good. Okay, so what else did I want to ask you? I have my little list here still. What changes in someone's relationships or decisions once their nervous system finally feels safe do you see are most prevalent?
Great question. So like a lot of people that are in relationships with a significant other, you know, that relationship is based on the behaviors that they've been modeling for decades sometimes. And so it can be very challenging on relationships because people start getting better, they start challenging the paradigm, they start not being as damaged, and then the other person, they put a lot of their value on caring for this person, and so that might not have been what your question was asking. And I think that's an important thing to bring up, because you know it takes two to tango. And so oftentimes the long game's really good. The short term can be pretty painful because there's a lot of growth occurring.
And change is hard.
It is hard. That's the biggest thing. Is like when even though this sucks, it's a safe suck. Right? Like you've been stuck in this pattern, this behavior cycle for a long time. And it's got you here. And so like to let go of that and to try something new is hard. And so that's why, you know, using as a catalyst is so important. Using any treatment as a catalyst. And then you're making those slow, sustainable changes is where we see kind of the life improve dramatically.
No, that's good. What do you feel that this work has taught you personally about human resilience?
Oh my gosh. No one's broken. Everyone's beautifully damaged. Right. And that's something that's really cool too, is like we can, you know, it doesn't have to be about treating illness. It can be about amplifying wellness. And that's really where I think we should all be moving. We shouldn't be waiting for people to get sick and treating them. I had a guy come through here, and he comes, you know, through like the immortality key, the secret history of religion with no name, goes back like 15,000 BC to 1500 AD. And on average, like human society, westernized civilizations were using ego dissolution like ketamine in a ceremonial fashion, on average about quarterly, like change of the season, kind of in a ceremonial fashion, music and community and connection. And so he comes back and he calls it his brain car wash. And I love that.
I love it's maintenance.
It really is. Maintenance. It's like getting your hair done. It's getting a massage. It's like it sucks so bad out there sometimes. Like why not come in and get a reset? Get a cellular level reset. And it's seriously like the future of medicine. It's the future of psychiatry. Functional medicine is like that potent anti-inflammatory effect that happens when you're feeling good. It's like it just shows up in so many different ways. Like how you parent your kids, you know, how you show up to your online groups, how you know, carry yourself in business and helping other people, and smiling strangers at the grocery store. All the things.
I mean, it's little things, because I think like our society has us wait until that check engine light comes on to like pay attention, you know, and that's where it's sometimes too late. So like you're saying, you know, kind of staying ahead of it, even if you're like, nah, my life's fine, like there's nothing wrong, like it's the human optimization. So really what's offered here is for everybody.
Totally. Yeah. And that's where we're seeing like the biggest thing that helps me, like someone prognostically is going to get better from these treatments, as if they want to get better.
Right.
And so like just that, like that little spark that exists, I think, inside of everyone,
Yeah.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
And if you have that and you want things to be better, like we have a ton of options,
Yeah.
and we're seeing life-changing results
Mm-hmm.
like on the daily.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
That is cool. I love
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So where do you see healing work heading in the next decade?
I mean, we talked about a bunch of it, right? Like, I think more and more people are literally waking up
Yeah.
in that they're seeing, hey, like this, and practitioners too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, practitioners are burned out like
Yeah.
crazy because I think their psyche, their soul recognizes, hey, what we're doing is really bad.
Right.
Like, it's not helpful.
Yeah.
I'm doing the opposite of helping by treating this symptom
Yep.
and not even looking for the problem. Like, so I think from a bigger zoomed out perspective, is it's important to be less of a permissive society.
Yeah.
And let everyone get away with everything.
Yep.
Like, I think we need to be that mama bear, that mama lion who's like, hey, that's bad for you. Like, and just be real with each other, about that,
Yeah.
um, still accepting people for where they're at, also recognizing like if we can build a rising tide raises all ships.
Right.
Right. And so if we can raise each other up,
Yeah.
and help people remember how capable they've always been,
Yep.
then everyone's going to benefit.
Yeah.
Like, I tell people that all the time, like, you probably never meet my kids, and what's good for you is helping my kids. So thank you.
Right.
Like, thanks for
No,
taking
it is.
care
I
of
mean,
yourself.
as a collective, as
Yeah.
we are more conscious of ourselves and we raise that energetic vibration per se, like it is going to benefit. There's gonna be less road rage and less just disagreements, or
Totally.
people are going to be a little bit more rational, I think, if we can, really open ourselves up to love, because love is always the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
And we're able to have more compassion for ourselves, and in turn for people around us, because really, if you can't have compassion for yourself, you're not going to have compassion for anybody else.
Totally.
So that's huge. And that's why I do yoga, and I do, the meditation and the things that I do, because I know that I can bring that out into the world with me.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect at it.
Right. Yeah. We're all works in progress.
Right. We're all still, it's an ebb and a flow, and we're all learning and growing. And sometimes it's, 10 steps forwards and 20 steps backwards. But
and yeah, I mean, that's part of being a human being, is
right.
like knowing like what it feels like to skin your knee, and the elation of falling in love and feeling so connected to another human, and the heartbreak of losing that person because whatever. And so like having that,
because they're an asshole,
right? Because they're a fucking dick. And just like looking at the zoomed out view. And then like I tell my kids, probably this too much, is like, individually we're super cool. And as a species we kind of suck.
Totally.
Yeah.
No one's on, like there's no one on the same page per se. Like everything's kind of jumbled in a lot of ways. So.
And it's like that, what we talked about with the potentiated illness model, like we're seeing that with like mass media and consumption and the doom scroll and all those things. And so like again, like it comes down to everything, name it to tame it, right? And so if we can be like, hey, like, I don't think it's good for you to stare at your screen for 12 hours every day. And then, feel it to heal it, because like a lot of it is self-medicating. Like kids these days,
it's a dopamine hit.
Disconnected. Oh yeah,
boom, boom. You're seeing it. It's like the short form videos are so bad for all of us.
Yeah, we
all do it. Where you're like,
totally. I'm not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. And then again, recognizing I did the best I could with what I had at that time, and that might have been 5 minutes ago. Casey was self-medicating with the doom scroll and crappy food. And then like I named that, and now how can I do less of that in the future? How can I exist in my radically authentic version of myself? Like it's like been a long time since I had any alcohol, and like sometimes I'll go out and I'll have a blue moon with a
Right.
slice of orange, and I'll
Yeah.
have a few sips of it because I love the taste.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's like, again, everything in moderation, including
It's
moderation.
awareness. We
Yeah.
have to become aware. We have
Mm-hmm.
to become aware of our triggers and our patterns and, the things in our lives that lead us one way or another. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it really is being able to have that bit of self-awareness that is
Yeah.
super helpful for
Right.
everybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that name it to tame it,
Yeah.
just like that understanding where things are coming from.
Yeah.
And so I think in the next 10 years, things are ultimately going to get a lot better.
Yeah.
I think there's probably going to be a little correction, things a little worse before they get better.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just about holding ourselves in integrity
Right.
when that happens, when and if that happens.
Yeah.
I'm a cautious optimist by trade,
Right.
right?
Good.
Cross my fingers, don't hold my breath,
Yeah.
and do what I can, like be the change you want to see in the universe.
Yeah.
And then, just try to be a good human as much as
See, I'm like
possible.
an optimistic pessimist, which is like, so yeah. Okay. How would you personally define healing today compared to when you first started?
Oh man, yeah, I've evolved a lot,
Yeah.
definitely since then. Like because it, like you're taught in school, like everything, like put a band-aid on it.
Yeah.
You're taught like, oh, let's fix the pain,
Yeah.
take ibuprofen, let's knock down the fever, and now, like in large part, I'm saying like, okay, what's causing that?
Right.
What's the root cause? Like, are you having a viral illness? Like,
Yeah.
are you potentially so emotionally drained that your psyche and your soul and your body is like, hey, go take a break for a
Right.
couple of days in bed,
Yeah.
and this is how I'm going to do that for you.
Yeah.
And we talked about that, but like 120 years ago ish, the AMA won against the Homeopathy Institute,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, and like treats like, and I still think in large part like treats like, and there's a lot of wisdom in that.
Yeah.
And like modern medicine is awesome. Like the
Yeah.
amount of lives
There's
we
so
save on
many
the daily,
advances. Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool stuff. And we did such a disservice doing the best we could with what we had,
Right.
right? Siloing medical from mental, from spiritual, and really a good treatment plan should incorporate all
Oh yeah, it's
those.
all integrated.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so like that was probably one of the biggest things that shifted for me just in the last couple of years. And I resisted this a lot for a number of reasons. And it's just one line in our integration workbook that everyone gets when
Yeah.
they come through here is consider exploring what a higher power means to you. And so that connectedness with something
Yeah.
bigger than ourselves
Mm-hmm.
is so important for everyone to feel and
I
to
agree.
understand.
Yep.
And what that looks like for you, I I don't care. I
Right.
just hope you find it.
Right. Right.
And I love that people find community around that.
Yeah.
I think that churches and connection
Yeah.
and like understanding that we are part of something.
Bigger.
Yeah.
But we're all interconnected too, and I think that's
Yeah.
hard too. Is like with especially religion, it can be such a
Yeah. So
touchy
talk about
subject
divisive, right? Let's
with
talk about politics. Let's talk
right,
about
right for people. But as someone who was raised Catholic,
yeah.
left the Catholic Church, explored all kinds of different
Mm-hmm.
religions. I mean, it really comes down to love. Once again, like I said,
So
it is.
true.
It is. It's
Yeah.
just being a vessel of love and living like Jesus did. Ultimately,
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Like
Yeah.
that's ultimately my belief is where we see overlap is where we see the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
And so I love like the idea of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
That divinity exists in each of us,
Mm-hmm.
and it's our God-given right to remember that.
Yeah.
And carry ourselves as such.
Yep.
Right. Treat everything with sacredness, everything from mowing that piece of chocolate cake to jamming out to Alanis Morissette in your car,
Right.
or this interview right now, and
Yeah.
just human connection and laughter and sleep and
Right.
all those things, and just recognizing like that what's good for us is good for the universe.
Right. And I mean, I think one of my biggest takeaways for one of my ketamine sessions was that we have these nervous systems, right? And we have energetically, I mean, our phones can send signals, our TVs, just things that we can't see. So to think that all these electrical impulses running through our bodies aren't sending impulses to each other is crazy.
Totally.
Don't call me crazy, because those that don't recognize that, I think it's wild, so I think that's why you can, when someone else is in a certain mood or different things, like you're gonna feel it. And so therefore, if you're raising that vibration and you're, you know, in a good spot emotionally, that you're going to, as a collective, emit that to, you know, the people around you, and hopefully kind of help
100%
raise the collective.
Yeah. And it's so cool to see like that, like it feels like that's like universally known, right? Like that's beneath the surface. Everyone, I think, when they give themselves space and grace, that like, you know, that like it, and it's in there. And so that's why like it just always feels like a great remembrance. And it's like, can you remember like that connectedness? Can you remember the importance of sacredness, like in more moments out of more days? And does that mean like eating food and like, you know, like taking care of yourself? And because toddlers are hard. Like you're a saint.
That's why I look like this. Kids, you know, for real. I've got got 3-year-old twins right now, and teenagers, toddlers and teenagers.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know who's worse.
They're all amazing in their own way and terrible in their own way. They're all figuring it out. We're all figuring it out.
Totally.
It all works in progress.
No, we are. So if listeners remember one thing from this conversation today, what do you hope that is?
I would say you're exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to be doing, and just recognize that for yourself. Just the fact that you're taking the time to listen to this means that you're ready for something. You know, it's not about the answers, it's about the questions. So you're asking the right questions by being here and being curious. So as much as you can, try to get to more of those moments of childlike curiosity in your normal day. And I don't care how you get there. I just know that what we have here at ROHCT and RKC, Revitalize Clinics, helps people remember that faster, it seems like. And there's lots of ways to get there. So,
No, I love that. I love that. All right. Well, you know, as we wrap up, I just want to say this, like, you know, there's no single path to healing. And there's no timeline that you need to follow, kind of like Casey said. And this conversation isn't about answers for anybody. And it's, you know, it's just about awareness and choice. So thank you, Casey, for doing this with me, you know, and for your honesty and just the deep care that you have for the work that you do. I'm really grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you. Thank you for being you. And thanks for this. This was fun.
I was excited. I've been waiting to do this.
Yeah, super cool. That was, I was like, what, you interviewing me?
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
No, I think it's important. Like, I don't think, you know, I love our community and just the people in it. And I think it's important for them to understand that there are these options here that they can, you know, do. Like, you don't have to go downtown to meet people or, you know, to have fun. And there's just other things that you can do to socialize and optimize. So I'm just a huge proponent for the work that you do, and super grateful.
Thanks. I'm grateful to be here. This is fun. It's always fun hanging out here, and it's cool to be on this side of things. And so thank you.
I know you're not usually on that side.
I'm always like, tell me more.
Right. No, I wanted to pick your brain. You know, I love what you're doing, and I think you're just an awesome human. So thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you, Ashley. You too. Thanks for everything you're doing. Like, it's just being a mother in this world is challenging.
It's tough.
And dealing with everything that you know, what we deal with as Americans in general. And then, so really good job.
Thanks.
Carry yourself well. Thanks for fighting the good fight.
I'm trying every day.
That's
all I can do.
That's all we can do.
Totally.
Do our best. Is what we can.
Awesome.
And give ourselves grace and space when we don't have those good days. Thanks so much for tuning in for another Mental Wealth Moves podcast. I'm your normal host, Casey Dubravcic, and today you just listened to Ashley Shafor and I have a really fun interview. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Check out our stuff, revitalizeketamine.com, ROHCT.com, and revitalizecasey.com, and those are social handles. So remember, what's good for you is good for the universe.